Lucky episode 13 of Successful Vaishnavas, Vyasa Puja Offerings. Make your life successful with successfulvaishnavas.com, where we interview devotees who have done wonderful things, and we discuss how to be successful in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna and welcome back to Successful Vaishnavas. In this episode, it's going to be a little bit different. Instead of having an interview, I thought I would share the Vyasa Puja offerings which I made to Srila Prabhupada. I thought it could be interesting to see how things have changed, or not, see what progress we've made. Because I'd like to share last year's Vyasa Puja offering from 2012, as well as the Vyasa Puja offering from this year. And for me, it was interesting to note that many of the themes are very similar, and it's also encouraging to see that some of the things that I had committed to at the last Vyasa Puja are some things that I've actually started and are continuing to do, which is basically this Successful Vaishnavas project. Anyway, I thought the message in the Vyasa Puja offerings is an important one as well, and I hope you get some inspiration out of it. That was the intention. So I'll be playing those in a few moments. Just before we get on to that, I'll share a little bit of news that's happening with me. I haven't checked all of the statistics, but the Facebook page is growing really nicely. There's more than 1,200 followers on Facebook at present. It's been, last week alone, I think we had about 100 people like the page, so that's fantastic. If you know anybody that could be interested in what we're talking about here on this podcast or in Successful Vaishnavas, please let them know about it. They can go to the Facebook page, or they can come straight to the website, successfulvaishnavas.com. The more people that get to know about it, the more of an impact we can have to inspire devotees to take some initiative and improve their own Krishna consciousness and also help our society. So yeah, basically I have been quite busy since the last podcast. I'm working with one devotee who's starting a business which is very, very closely related to Krishna consciousness. It's something which he's planning to offer to the big world out there. And also, he's very much interested in helping the devotees within ISKCON through the things that he's teaching. So stay tuned for that. I'll reveal more as time goes by. And because of that work there, and also because of some other business training that I've done, haven't made much progress on the online course. But once I've completed this podcast today, that's the top of my priority list. Has been for a while. Anyway, we all keep working at it, and hope you forgive me for my imperfections, and look forward to releasing it very soon. Last episode I mentioned about a Kindle book which I've released, and that book is, I'll let you know what that book is. It's just a fun story about a dinosaur and a boy, a toy dinosaur. And it's a rhyming story with some neat pictures, which were done by one devotee's mother. The devotee's name is Leela Mai, and those illustrations were done by her mother. And if you have any children or grandchildren that might be interested in dinosaurs, you might want to go and have a look at it. And it might also give you some ideas. Perhaps you have interest in producing a book, and this might give you an idea of one way that you can produce it. Basically, preparing the whole book, like physically, through drawing pictures, then just adding the text after scanning the pictures and putting it together, and it can become an ebook that can be read on Kindle. So anyway, if you're interested to check it out, you can find it easily if you go to kklikes.com/dinosaur toy. So yeah, go have a look and let me know what you think of it. For me, it's really an experiment ultimately I would like to do Krishna conscious books, whether it's children's books or adult books related to successful Vaishnavas and things like that. So this was just my first attempt, just to find out how the process works. So go have a look at it, kklikes.com/dinosaur toy, and tell me what you think. Let me know how your grandchildren or your children enjoy the stories. So anyway, enough about that. At this point, I will just play the Vyasa Puja recordings from 2012 and 2013. I'd be really interested to hear your comments, which you can write at successfulvaishnavas.com/13. Go to that website and just let me know what you felt by hearing these offerings, and if you have any comments about the changes that you heard between the 2012 offering and the 2013 offering. Really looking forward to hearing your feedback. Here I am. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Carla was looking for a brahmacharya. Couldn't find one, so I'll just have to be the next best thing. It's kind of ironic, I suppose, that I mention that, because when I'm standing here, I'm thinking actually, as a father, I've been in the brahmacharya ashram, and now I'm a father, and I'm starting to think to myself, what does the future hold for my sons? I've got 2 sons, and I'm just reflecting, how was the movement, how is it now, and how's it going to be for them? When I think about how things are today, things that occur to me is that this movement is very well established. In the early days when Prabhupada was here, it was a massive growth period. And since that time, it's just incredible to think of what is actually out there in the Krishna consciousness movement, just in terms of temples and the number of people that have been influenced by this Krishna consciousness movement. Also, as time has gone by, devotees have matured. As we were hearing, in the early days, many devotees, they were hippies. But now, after many years of Krishna conscious practice, they're very mature and experienced. And one of my personal realizations is that perhaps in the early days, there was an enthusiasm that Krishna consciousness is a very simple process and you just follow it, and it was a very high standard. Now today, I think there's a real honesty for many devotees that actually practicing Krishna consciousness is not so easy. It's a wonderful and blissful process, but there's challenges that we have to face when we try to practice Krishna consciousness. So that's one of the other things that I appreciate today, is that devotees have that they're very honest, and from their experiences they have wisdom that they can share with other devotees, which in the early days wasn't there so much. Prabhupada was the very senior devotee, and everybody else was enthusiastic to follow him, but maybe not as much wisdom that we have today. I also look around, and coming here today, hearing about the different projects that different devotees are involved in. Just straight off the top of my mind, I think of the Loft, the Ambaresh Guru, your preaching programs, at Bhakti Yoga preaching. This is just here in Auckland. We have Food for Life programs, restaurants. And then worldwide, there's so many things that devotees are doing. At the same time, I feel that there's so much potential that devotees have that's not being tapped. And once again, thinking to myself as a father, when my sons are growing up, what opportunities will there be for them to contribute to Prabhupada's movement? There's a famous letter from Srila Prabhupada to Karandara. And from that letter, I've grasped 2 main points. The first point is that in order to remain enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness, we need to strictly follow sadhana, the regulative principles. To very strictly chant 16 rounds, follow the regulative principles, and to engage as much as possible in the processes that Prabhupada's given us. Prabhupada said that if these things are followed, then we'll have enthusiasm to preach and spread Krishna consciousness. The second point that Prabhupada made in that letter is that this movement is for making men, for people who are independently thoughtful and competent in all areas of thought and action. So this is a very interesting point. And I feel from talking to many devotees that sometimes devotees have a feeling that I'm just a follower. It's not for me to decide to do anything. I have to wait for my guru to tell me. Or I have to wait until some great leader comes and then I can follow on behind that person. But from this letter we can understand from Prabhupada that he wants people to take initiative and to use their own gifts, their intelligence, their own thoughts, and to develop skills in order to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So with this thought in mind, I was thinking that, when I'm raising my son, I want to encourage him to find out what talents he has and to use it in Krishna service. Last year I spoke a similar type of theme, and I said that this year at Prabhupada I want to do something significant. Boy, words are so easy to say, right? But to actually put it into practice is another story. But I would like to just offer one small step that I've made to fulfilling this promise to you, Srila Prabhupada. I promised that I'd do something significant, which it's taken a year, but at least one thing I've started, I feel, I don't know if it's the right word, but I feel proud to say, Prabhupada, that I've done one small thing to try to help. I've set up a website called Successful Vaishnavas. Now when I say set up, it means it's just ready to go. But the idea of this website is I've already interviewed several devotees who've achieved success in different areas in Krishna consciousness. Maybe they're preachers, or they've done a particular project, or even they've just been a steady devotee for many years, and I've interviewed them and asked them to share some of the things that help them to achieve the success that they have in their Krishna consciousness. So my pledge to you, Srila Prabhupada, is to continue this website, which I've named successfulvaishnavas.com, so that devotees all over the world can hear from our movement about the successes. Because it's easy to dwell on the things that are not going so well, to think about the shortcomings. And I've had the experience that I've looked around and seen things that I didn't like, and then I tried to change that other person. And all it did was give me a headache and the other people a headache as well. It wasn't effective. So taking the point from Prabhupada's letter as well, instead of trying to change other people, let me try to do something within my own capability independently to try to help. And so through this website I hope that devotees can become inspired to see that actually in the Krishna consciousness movement there are really amazing things happening. And I'm sure you've picked up that vibration today by hearing from everyone. And also in that website, we hope to offer some training which can help devotees to, practice that independent thoughtfulness and competence to help us learn to work together better, how to develop our mindset so that we can actually do something significant to please Srila Prabhupada. So here I am again. It's been 1 year since I said that I want to do something significant. So this is my attempt to please Prabhupada through successfulvaishnavas.com. When I come next year, I hope I can share that I've actually continued on with this Successful Vaishnavas and it's made a difference for your devotees. And once again, my thinking is, I'm a father, I have children, and there are many children growing up in our society. I'm just trying to do something small so that the other devotees can also do something great for Srila Prabhupada, just as Prabhupada has done great things for us. Srila Prabhupada ki?
That was 2012. This is 2013.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I've been reflecting how you've come to the West, and just everything that you've done in your life, you had to face so many challenges and obstacles. You left India and came to the West at the age of 70. And even today in our society, there's very few devotees that are even that age. You're still the most senior person in our society. At that late age, you came to the West on a ship and had heart attacks on that ship. When you came to America, you had nothing, materially speaking. You had no money, and you ended up staying with drug-crazed people that even attacked you. You had to step over drunk people to enter into your apartment. These are just some of the challenges and austerities that you had to face. And as I reflect on that, Srila Prabhupada, I realise that whatever challenges I have to face in my life are nothing compared to what you had to do. You basically had nothing, materially speaking, to start from. But having said that, spiritually speaking, you had everything because you were fully committed to Krishna. You had 100% dedication to the mission of your spiritual master. You were a pure devotee. So when I compare myself with you, it's quite sad situation, because I can see that materially speaking, I have so many opportunities. Like in the West here, we're not lacking in terms of money or comfortable living. And thanks to you, we have this wonderful society of Krishna consciousness that provides a wonderful opportunity to do anything that we want within Krishna consciousness. But I can see that where I'm lacking is in the Krishna consciousness. Even though you had nothing materially, because you had Krishna, you had everything. And I can see for myself that everything has been put in front of me to use for Krishna's service. But because I don't have the devotion, I'm not able to really use that properly and advance in Krishna consciousness and help you to spread your movement. So the two commitments I guess I'd like to make today are, first of all, to really focus on developing my spiritual Krishna consciousness, to really develop my sadhana, and remember that that's the key, most important thing. And secondly, to take advantage as much as I can of the facilities that are available to serve you, Srila Prabhupada, and to help this mission. You went through so many challenges. What we face is nothing compared to that. And so therefore, Srila Prabhupada, please give me the determination to do everything I can to help your mission, to not let any small difficulty overcome the determination to help you. And even though I'm not very devoted, please give me some small mercy that I can develop that devotion and actually do some service. In order to do this, I've developed a project called Successful Vaishnavas. And my purpose in this is basically two things. One is to highlight what's being successful in our society. It's very easy to find faults in anything. But if we can really look at examples of people who are doing inspiring things in Krishna consciousness, I can only see that will be uplifting for myself and everybody else in our society. And secondly, I want to also do whatever I can to help any devotee that has inspiration to help you serve by using whatever skills or experience I have to try to help so that we have more and more success stories. So that's how I'm trying to serve you, Srila Prabhupada. And with that in mind, I have a couple of short poems that I'd like to share, which I hope will be inspiring for others as well. Be bold for Krishna, that was Prabhupada's call. It's a message that's meant for us all, not just the leaders, the swamis and gurus. It's also for you, because we always knew you had so much potential, so much talent. Time to fan it. Get a fire burning in your soul. Do it now before you get old. Don't waste a minute more of your life. Pick the fruit while it's still ripe. It's sweet and juicy and full of flavor. There's no doubt there's no other way to live your life and be satisfied. So it's one song, and then I have one other short poem as well. It's a continuation of that same theme. If Krishna wants it to happen, who are we to get in the way? So you want to be a preacher? Okay, Mahaprabhu shows us the way. Wherever you go and whoever you meet, teach them how to chant and how to eat. Mahaprasadam. Don't starve them. Repeat what you heard from Prabhupada. There's no qualification. It's not hard. Just hear and repeat what you've heard without deviation. Don't be a nerd. Keep it simple. Speak to the heart. Connect with people's genuine needs. Concern and care is what really feeds a person's inspiration to do more. So what are you waiting for? Time to get out the door. Harinam tonight would be a good opportunity. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thanks for listening. To find out more, go to successfulvaishnavas.com.
Whatever little service that anyone can do for Krishna is to be appreciated and celebrated.
Just give this life to Krishna.
We know that they have much more potential than they're presently using.
I went to a place of relishing the activity and letting go of the result completely.
You just associate with pure devotees. Then you shall be able to cross over the ocean of nescience.